We're going to talk first about what a beat is and what its component parts are. Okay? This is every beat, in every tempo, in every style, no matter what your ensemble is, whether it's jazz group or a choir or an orchestra, doesn't make any difference. Every beat is the same. Okay, so every beat has certain component parts in its anatomy, always. Different parts of its anatomy will get changed for different musical situations. But we're going to talk now about what's basic to every beat. Okay? Every beat has three parts. Acceleration, ictus, deceleration. Okay? Good so far? Just have your first testing. What are the three parts of a beat? Actually, you don't quite have it, because there's a part missing. Something most conductors miss. It makes them hard to follow. We'll talk about why in a minute. Acceleration, ictus. What happens on the ictus? What happens in music? This is an easy question. Go ahead and say it. It's the beat.
The sound.
Yes, it's where we play. Yes, it's where we want people to play. Okay? Acceleration, ictus, which is the beat itself, which shows the actual beat of the bar. And it is also, very importantly, in this speed continuum of acceleration and deceleration, where are we in that speed continuum right there? This is the accelerated, and as soon as we get there, we're going to start decelerating. So where are we in all these speed changes right there?
At velocity.
At the fastest point. The ictus is at the fastest point of the beat. We accelerated toward the ictus, we decelerated, and we stopped. Now, if you do that physically, it would look like this. Right? Accelerate toward the bottom, decelerate, stop. And you see the bottom is always the fastest point. And if I keep doing this, what does this look like? What thing that you've all seen in real life? Pendulum. The check is in the main. Every beat looks like a pendulum. It doesn't look like it in the sense that we don't conduct this. It doesn't look like a pendulum. It has the gravitational speed qualities of a pendulum. Why does the pendulum get faster and slower? Because it's being pulled down by gravity, and as it passes the fastest point, it's being slowed down by gravity as it moves away from the earth, right? Every beat we give is exactly the same. You allow our hand to be taken down by gravity, as opposed to, you saw how different that looks? Very hard to follow. So is this. I didn't allow my hand to be taken down by gravity. Okay? Good so far? Question? Okay, good. We're going to start doing physical exercises. You can all stand up. You're going to give yourself a little distance from your stand so you don't hit anything. We're going to do some physical exercises that you're going to start doing tonight. When I said the exercises we learn on this first day are the ones I want you to do every day, this is that. Okay? The first thing you're going to do, and be sure you're far enough away that you don't hit each other or anything, is learn to do that. Release your arm, and allow, when you get to the top, let go, and only take control back somewhere in the middle of the upswing. Now this may seem really stupid, except some of you actually aren't doing it. Some of you are doing this. Let go. Let go and take control back at the top. We're going to give, and don't worry about that it's not good because we'll learn how to make it good in a minute. We're going to give a preparatory gesture, and we'll talk in a minute about what that means, so don't worry about it right now. And then we're going to let our hand, I'm going to do this first. And I'm going to let go at the top, and I'm going to let my hand fall. I'm going to go straight up in front of ourselves, but when you get to the top and stop, you're going to totally release all control and let your hand fall all the way down wherever it happens to fall. Okay, ready to go? I want you to breathe in sharply every time you put your hand up. Here we go. Right, don't throw it down, don't hit yourself on purpose, just let go. And the hand goes where it goes, the arm goes where it goes. Again, good, that's exercise number 2 you're going to work on tonight. Here's exercise number 3. Go ahead and get near your music stand. Okay, you can put your stand roughly belly button, or left height, waist height, something in that neighborhood. Okay, roughly where we're putting this, by the way, is roughly the place where we conduct. So that means right about there, ish. Okay, and turn this away from you, because if you don't, you're going to break your wrist. And I take anything valuable or sharp off that stand. Okay? Like I wouldn't leave your phone there, because it's going to end up on the floor. Okay? So what we're going to do now, we just did this one, right? Where we completely let go, and we let our hand fall. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing and not be tempted to take control back. We're going to let our hand hit this stand without taking control back. Don't take control back. Let your hand flop onto the stand. Be sure you open your hand so you don't break your fingers. Okay? Here we go. Okay, again, breathe in, sharp. Okay, and we're not going to hit the stand. We're going to let our hand fall naturally onto the stand. Ready? And we're going to do a little example of why gravity is so important. Why using gravity in your beat is so important, and why we're learning it. You're not going to conduct, by the way. You're using that as a noisemaker. I'm going to ask you to tap the edge of your stand at a certain time. Okay? That's the only reason you have that right now. Okay? I want you to tap the edge of your stand exactly when this hits the floor. Okay? Ready? Good. Let's do it again. Very nice. Okay then. Again, please. Again. Good. Again. Very good. One more time. Don't miss. Okay. Why did Joel miss? Why did Joel miss the last time?
Hard to know what he's doing.
Why was it impossible to see? He was going down to the floor. Why was it so hard to see?
There was no prep.
I didn't prep any time. I just dropped it.
You made it go faster than what was natural.
I mean, check is in the mail. I see it right now.
Okay.
It went faster than was natural without proper use of gravity. That was like what I just threw at the floor. What happens when people conduct like this? What do you think what happens to the ensemble? Besides they're messy. Okay, you know they're going to be messy because we're all messy when you try to do that. What else are they besides messy? Okay? If I do that, we're all going to be late. Because I didn't give you any opportunity to get ready. Whether you know it or not, when you play in an ensemble, we're saying your getting ready time is while you watch that gravity, that gesture fall in a way that seems natural to you. You all knew when the pen was going to hit the floor because there's a natural arc to gravity. You all know when a pendulum is going to hit the bottom of its arc because there's a natural arc to the gravity. When somebody does this, you can't possibly play because none of what came before that ictus, I made an ictus, right? But none of it made any sense. So you would all have played late and messy because you couldn't see it coming. Almost everything we do when we transmit information to the group happens before the ictus, not on the ictus. In fact, almost like 99% of it. If we're communicating no good information in front of the playing, everybody plays late, messy, or they just do our job for us. You often see great orchestras play together with conductors doing this. Okay? It's not some magic that you don't understand. It's because the players are doing the conductor's job for them. They're playing together in spite of the conductor, not because of the conductor. Okay? So that's how information about tempo and clarity and when we play gets transmitted. So we know that if we're in 4/4 and we want people to play on 1, which beat is the preparatory gesture? 4. You pretend 4 that doesn't really exist. Exactly. That's in front of the first beat, right? So we know 4 is going to be our prep gesture. Sorry, I kind of lost track of things. Okay. This is a very important concept. The prep gesture starts just before, or if you prefer the word above, either one is okay. Begins before or above, they amount to the same thing in this context. The beat, that is whichever beat is our prep, and we already identified it in this case as 4. Okay? It doesn't start at the ictus, the fastest, lowest part. It starts just before it. So if I'm going to make a prep gesture now, boom. I didn't really start above it, I started inside it. I went straight up. Yes? But that's not what I drew, is it? What I drew is my starting point was where the X is, which means the first thing I got to do is swing slightly down into that ictus. Does that make sense? Because I'm starting in the fastest part of the pattern. Boom. There's a little slight curve to the downward in that prep gesture, because that's just enough to define the ictus. If I start at the bottom and I go up, it's very hard to define that ictus, which means we go fastest part slows down, stops slightly, falls with gravity, stops at the bottom. Boom. There are two basic theories of conducting. In terms of where we place beats in our field of conducting relative to our own person. Okay? How we use the space in front of us. One is called focal point theory, and one is called focal plane theory. Plane like a flat surface, not plane like it, like boring, not that kind of thing. Okay? Focal plane, we will discuss first. Focal plane theory means that all the beats exist in the same level, that's why it's called focal plane, but not in the same spot. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4. You saw that they all existed in roughly the same spot relative to my height, but not in the same spot in space. Make sense? Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. This probably looks familiar to you. You've probably seen many conductors conduct exactly like that. Yes? Okay. Before I get to which one we're going to do in this class, I'm going to explain the other one. Okay? Focal point is a theory in which all the beats exist in exactly the same spot. Not just on the same plane, but in the same spot in space. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when we say in the same spot in space, it's not a religion. Obviously there are times when we don't give every ictus in exactly the same spot. There are many musical and interpretive reasons why we will change the point, but the theory will always be the same. Does that make sense? That we are not spacing them along that plane. Everybody understand both ideas? Okay. So, we will not be doing that. Okay? In this class, you're going to learn focal point theory. Okay? There's a couple of reasons that I conduct this way and that I only teach this way. This doesn't mean all the people who do it the other way are wrong. Yeah, kind of, but no. It means I don't agree, and I'm going to explain to you why I don't agree. When we conduct in focal point theory, there's a number of advantages to the ensemble. What do you suppose they are as you look at this? What first occurs to you is what's an advantage to the group? Because let's not forget that every conducting decision we make is about the people playing or singing. It's not about what's convenient for us. Yes, ma'am?
They don't have to move their eyes side to side.
They can depend that if they look up, and let us not forget, because you all know this because you play in ensembles, it's not as though you're staring at the conductor all the time. You're catching a little bit of information out of your peripheral vision. And it would be nice if you could depend on where it's located, where that information is located relative to the person in front of you. Okay? If you have to keep looking up and going, where's the beat? That's a little distracting, especially for people who are extreme focal plane conductors, and it's really way out by the hip, and it's way up here, and it's way up here, okay? That's one reason. There is another more subtle reason why. Once you look at the distance between the beats, I'm going to conduct 4/4 just like I have it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What can you tell me about the distance that I have to travel between certain beats of the bar?
It changes.
It changes. How does it change?
It's,
Why?
it's between beats 2 and 3, you have to travel a lot further than the other ones.
I had to travel twice as far to get from 2 to 3 as I did to get from 1 to 2 or from 3 to 4. Okay? So if I'm trying to control the dynamics or control the expression of the group, how can I possibly control the dynamic if one of my basic tools, which is the rebound, and the rebound is, of course, all of the space between any two ictuses. It's the deceleration and acceleration part, okay? But if that's how I'm communicating information, I'm communicating style, mood, dynamic, articulation. If I'm forced to suddenly use twice as much space, what does it look like? So if the second beat is always twice as big as the first beat, it always looks louder, okay? And that's one of the reasons I will not let you, I'm not going to have you do that. Okay, get this. The only rebound that ever goes straight up in the air is whatever is the last beat of the bar. So if I beat 2 like this, how do you know while you're looking at your peripheral vision which one was 1 and which one was 2? You don't, because you'd have to stare at me to figure it out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, even 1, 2, 1, 2, still shows you which is which. Okay? Rebounds from every beat that's not the last beat of a bar will go at somewhat of a lateral angle. They'll go up somewhat because in order to get a pendulum effect, they have to go up slightly, right? But they're going to go also more laterally. Good? I want to mention one other thing as principle, which when we get into more complex beat patterns, which will be next week sometime, will be very important to keep you from getting confused while you're conducting. When you say to me, we're in 12 and I can't remember on the 8th beat of the bar which way does the rebound go because there's so many beats in this bar, the answer to the question is this. The rebound always goes the way that the next beat isn't. 1. 2 is to my right, right? Therefore the rebound from 1 has to go left. 2 comes over to my right. 3 is going to be back over the center, so the rebound from 2 must go over to my right. This one's simple because there's only 3 beats. But when we get into more complex patterns, it's going to be harder. Okay? So the rebound always goes whichever way the next beat isn't going. Take a second on conducting areas. Okay? We already mentioned all the icti are going to be roughly in the same place. At least that's our goal. It's not a sacred religion. It's a goal that will, like everything, change slightly as the musical situation changes. Okay? It's a place to find comfort and know roughly where we conduct. It doesn't mean we conduct here always. Our basic place to conduct is right here. It's in a space about 10 by 10, right in front of your abdomen. That's where we conduct. Okay? And we want to be sure that that's our nice, comfy spot. It's where we conduct when there's not some reason to conduct somewhere else. Yeah? Why would there be reasons to conduct somewhere else? There's tons of them. What are some?
Specific sections?
What?
Connecting to a specific section?
Sure, because there's a part of the group we're going to need to address by turning the body or turning the hand. In the basses play, I don't conduct right here and stare forward, because that's stupid. Okay? When basses have something important, you look over here, and if you look over here, generally you're going to slightly change your position of conducting. It's no longer in the same place relative to my body as it used to be. Fair enough. What else? Where else might we change where we conduct? It's no longer going to be right there.
I think maybe like front to back, you'd go higher or lower.
Front to back of the group?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that's not necessarily true, but it certainly could be true. Some people insist on conducting high when the winds play. Sometimes it's to get their attention. But let's go back to the idea of up higher. Why we conduct up higher that's not geographical? You've all seen it and you've all reacted to it instinctively, you just have never put your minds to why. Yes, we generally associate higher conducting with a lighter dynamic and a lighter articulation. Okay, we tend naturally to come up here to get piano, and we'll talk about conducting up here for piano some couple days from now, but that's certainly a very valid reason to change our position of our conducting. Likewise, the opposite might be true. For big fortissimo, we might even be down further and confining the space to a smaller area that's very down here and very muscular. Okay? Because we don't want to be up here if it's super fortissimo and super heavy. Okay? So all of those are good reasons to move away from the basic place where we would otherwise want to be.